Hey guys! So in today's video, I thought I would try to do something a little bit different, and I've seen a lot of people on YouTube doing monthly favorite videos, and typically this is in reference to makeup, but I don't really use that many different kinds of makeup, and I'm not that kind of channel, so I thought it would be fun to try an art supply version. So in today's video, I'm showing you the favorite art supplies of mine from the month of August. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you there. So the first item I have on my August favorites list is this Derwent Precision mechanical pencil. And I've been using this for a little over a month now for almost all of my sketching. And I like it not only because it's mechanical and I don't have to worry about sharpening a pencil, but I like that I can get very soft, kind of sketchy light lines that erase very easily. And I can get very heavy, very dark lines that almost feel like I was using a softer grade of a pencil than I actually am. And this makes it very nice to actually use for full-out pencil illustrations if you don't want to have to dig out a full set of pencils. And I also like that it feels sort of weighty. It's not light. For a while, I was using cheap mechanical Bic pencils to draw with, and I still use them occasionally, but I really like that this Derwent pencil has quite a bit of weight to it, and it feels a lot more natural to draw with. The second thing on my favorites list this month is this white Prismacolor colored pencil, and as you can see, it's definitely been well used, and honestly, a lot of the color in this pencil has been used up in this month, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I recently invested in a toned sketchbook as opposed to a white sketchbook, and it definitely has a lot more use when you're not just working on white paper. I also like that you can get a fairly even lay of color with just a few layers. Now, moving away from pencils for a second, I have this fairly beat up eraser, and this is a General's Tri-Tip. Even though it says Factus on the actual eraser itself, the packaging said General's. And I really like that I can get a lot of very fine details with this, and it erases fairly easily. I've definitely used erasers that erase better, but this eraser specifically, I like that I can really get into fine little areas and not have to worry about erasing more than I might have wanted to. So moving more into inks, this month I've really been enjoying using the Pilot Varsity pens. And these ones are in blue and purple. I have a black one somewhere, but I'm not really sure where it's got to. But I've been enjoying using the colors as well. And the interesting thing about these pens is that they actually have a nib on them that is more like a calligraphy nib as opposed to a brush tip or a bullet tip or anything like that. And it's very interesting to be able to have that sort of like fine control, and you can use both sides of the nib. And the colors are very interesting as well. It's the blue and the purple. And something else that I've really been enjoying sort of experimenting with is the fact that these pens react to water. And so I've been using water brushes to sort of expand on that idea, and it's not really working so well on this paper since this paper isn't really meant for that kind of thing. But if you really work up a lot of ink and you wet it, you can create a look that's a bit softer and more interesting than just the line itself. Now, for the next item on the list, item number 5, I almost considered not including this pen in this month's video because I just recently dug it out again, and I haven't really spent a lot of time using it, but I really enjoyed the time that I have spent with it, so I thought it was worth mentioning. And this is the Kiritake number 8 brush pen. And this is a refillable pen, and it has a fairly hard casing to it. And what I really like about this brush is the amount of control that you're able to get with it. Because a lot of brushes that I've used take a lot of practice to get used to. But this is very smooth, and it definitely has some sort of unpredictable effects on certain types of paper. I've seen that it fades to something that's a little more of a gray than a black, but the fact that it's so easily controlled really says a lot about the actual brush itself, and give you a little bit of a close-up so you can see what that looks like. And as you can see here, you can get very fine lines with next to no effort. And then it can get thick and thin again, and it's just very nice to control. I'm folding this paper over so I can show you guys the next item on the list. And the next thing that I have to share is actually, however you pronounce this, Ohuhu markers. And a lot of people have said good things about these markers because they are very cheap. I got mine on sale and there were 80 markers for, I think, $35 or something like that. And as you can see, lots of colors. And I probably wouldn't use these so much on a final illustration that I was going to sell, but for my sketchbooks, they're very nice. And you get so many colors for not a whole lot. And they apply very nicely, and I'll just test out a couple of colors here for you. Those are just a few of the greens, the first ones that popped out at me. And I'll show you a couple of the nibs as well. So there's a bullet tip on this side, and on the other side it is a chisel tip. And I actually don't mind chisel tips. A lot of people I know don't really enjoy them as much as brush tips, but honestly I find that a chisel tip can have a lot of expression if you use it to the full extent of its capabilities. And of course they bleed. They're alcohol markers. They're gonna bleed, and as you can see they even bled through to my background paper here slightly. But for the price, they're very good markers for sketchbooks. And specifically, I really enjoyed using them on toned paper as opposed to white paper. And for a while I was a little concerned about that. I wasn't really sure if it was going to work, but the more I've experimented with it, I almost think it looks more interesting on toned paper than it does on just white paper. And the final thing I have on my list of supplies isn't really so much of a supply as much as it is just something that I really enjoy using. And this is a date stamper, and I really like using this in my sketchbooks because it's just so easy and it looks so nice. It almost adds that finishing touch that really makes something feel complete. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my August favorites. If you have anything that you've really enjoyed using this month, I really would love to hear from you. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Maybe this video won't have any bloopers, but it probably will, let's be real. I wish things sounded better coming out of my mouth than they did in reality. I feel the same way about hair.